Welcome. You're listening to the I'm Wired to Inspire podcast, creatively engineered by Nicole, the inspiration specialist. I'm Wired to Inspire is a powerfully packed 5-minute podcast filled with inspiration and encouragement to get you through your day. It's designed to inspire you to live your authentic purpose. Now stay tuned for your host, Nicole, the inspiration specialist, on today's episode of I'm Wired to Inspire.
Hey everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today on my podcast. I think this might be my first pop-up of the year. I cannot remember, but this word has been resting with me for a minute, and I feel like God is leading me to release it today for somebody who needs it. And it is called the Big Catch. So if you hear this and you think you need to share it with somebody, please share it, download it, and give it to whomever you think needs it. Because I do believe that God was speaking through something that most people just witnessed the other day. And I just want to share it with you. So if you did not witness my team, I'm a huge Saints fan. That's my team. The Saints lost. We had an epic loss on last weekend. We were on the way to the Super Bowl and it did not happen. But what happened wasn't because it wasn't a good team. We had a huge deficit. We came all the way back and all the way literally in the 11th hour. Something shifted and changed and it didn't happen. So that is what I'm going to explain to you guys about what God is doing right now for some of you. So what ended up happening is something that pretty much I would say is one of the greatest things we've ever seen in football history. Okay. And they're now coining it the Minneapolis Miracle. Young man by the name of Stephon Diggs. He was able to catch the ball and run 61 yards and for the touchdown. And they ended up beating the Saints 29-24 in literally the last second. Okay. And he's a wide receiver. And it was just amazing to watch because if you actually saw the clip, you will see that when he caught the ball and ran in, nobody was there to stop him. So let me get into this word for y'all. Just like the Minneapolis Miracle, the Lord is going to bless a lot of you like that. And I know that there are people listening saying, I'm so sick of hearing that. I'm so tired of hearing that. And a lot of times when we begin to hear something over and over and over again and we don't see it and we like, why isn't it happening? We begin to forget on the greater level, on the highest level, who God is. Okay. So this is something that I want you to think about. God is going to do something that only he can do. Now, much like this Minneapolis Miracle, this young man, not only did he run in and he get the touchdown and he quote unquote, saved the day, but it was literally in miracle form. So some of you are feeling like the Vikings did the whole game. Like, the beginning of the game, everything was all good. You had your spirits up. That's how some of you are right now. You all excited. But then when the Saints came in and was like, yo, y'all not going to beat us. And they came in and passed them up and they were about to lose in the last second. The Vikings were about to lose in the last second. Again, just look at the last 3 minutes of the game. And when you see them combing the sidelines with the players' faces, everybody looks so sad. Everybody looks so defeated. And some of you are there right now. You are feeling like God is not doing what he said he was going to do. And it's looking like the very thing you thought that you didn't want to happen was going to happen and blow up in your face. But who knew? God was waiting until the very last second, what we call the 11th hour, to come in and show up and show out. And not only did he do this and the guy ran in and everybody saw it, but nobody was around him. All of the players were on the field. But guess what? The Lord set it up so that the miracle and the blessing was in everybody's view. But he was the only one that could touch it. That is what God is going to do. Because you know what? A lot of people may have seen you fall. They're looking at you right now like you're not good enough. You thought you were going to win. Yeah, you started off good, but now these people came back and they passing you up. Your business not going to flourish. You too old for this. Everybody else passing you up. You started back then. And now look at you now. People started after you. Now they passing you up. Oh, honey. But you got your little Minneapolis Miracle coming right up the street. Believe that. So don't you get caught up in what people telling you right now, because guess what? The big catch is coming for you too. And something that I want you to keep in mind as well is this. I'm going to go a little deep on you. Now, you might not know football terms, but let me help you out. Stephon Diggs is a wide receiver. Okay? Now let me help you out. Are you a wide receiver? You need to be wide open to receive the blessings of God. You need to be wide open. And what I want you to understand is this. If you are not wide open to receive, when whatever happens to get you that ball, whatever happens to get you that miracle and that blessing, if you are not wide open to receive it, you will miss it. And guess what? If you miss it and you drop the ball, somebody else going to roll off in the sunset with it. So you make sure you are alert and you are where you need to be. Because this is for the people who appear to be at a deficit right now. This is for the people who had people looking at them saying, oh, look at her. Yeah, she thought she was doing this. She doing this. She doing that. But I'm still doing this over her. Oh, man. He think he this. I got more of that than him. You know, everybody, you know, in these little competitive streaks. And a lot of times, y'all, you could be the person somebody talking about like that and they're competing against you and you don't even know. You have no idea, you know. And in this particular case, it was very obvious. It was a competition. It was one team against another team. So believe you me when I tell you, God is not skimping on miracles and he's not skimping on blessings. And I personally believe that was something he allowed on the main stage where millions and millions of people were able to see it. And not because he wanted the Saints to look bad again. Y'all know that's my team. That's my heart. I don't want nothing to happen to the Saints. But this is the thing I want you to understand about that. The Lord put that on the main stage so everybody could see He's not playing in this season. So many people, like I said, you're tired of hearing him. Oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, but nothing happens. Well, you know what? You can't say that anymore because now he's proven it. If he did it for them, he can do it for you. And he's no respecter of persons. So your mindset, your attitude needs to change about it if you are down in the dumps. And if you are the person who's in the 11th hour with 1 second left on the clock and your rent is not paid, how you know he's not going to knock on the door and give you that check? How you know somebody not going to say, hey, check your Cash App? How you know somebody not going to say, boop, I done hit that PayPal? And what's the little thing they got going around on IG now? Yeah. So this morning I got up and I didn't have no money. Boom. At the end of the night, I had $1 million. Yeah, that sounds crazy, but this happens to people all the time. It's just not something everybody knows about. And sure, that could be extreme, but what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is this. We serve an extreme God. Me saying I was broke this morning and having $1 million this evening, that's exactly what happened on Sunday. That's what happened with the Minneapolis Miracle. It was 1 second left on the clock. And he didn't just win the game. It was a 61-yard touchdown. And he didn't finesse nothing. He just did it. He just walked in that thing. He just effervesced. He just rolled smooth into that bad boy. Because the Lord just made the path wide open. He made the path wide open. And don't get it twisted. I'm not able to release it yet, but I'm going to do another one about the saints. And that's just as good as this word. Because it was still a miracle and it was still a blessing in that because they persevered. And even the young man, people, saying little things about the little guy or whatever. But guess what? God got something special for that young man. And it's easy to blame people. But sometimes, y'all, God has to use people in order to get you what he's trying to give to you. And even though it may be something where somebody else might feel played, God is never going to leave you played. He will never leave you bleeding. I tell y'all that all the time. The Lord will never do that to you. That's not who we serve. We do not serve a tyrant. No. But sometimes we may have to do something that may be perceived as an L. But the Lord knows that it's not an L. So that's why I want you to understand your big boom, your big miracle. It's coming. You may not know how. So I want you to remember these few things, okay, as I wrap up, because this is something that someone needs to hear. I need you to be encouraged. Whoever is that person who just got that word. In fact, when you hear this, I'm going to be your second time you heard it today, because the Lord is going to do something so big. Only he's the one that can take responsibility for it. Because let me ask you something. Could Stephon Diggs take responsibility what happened at the game? No, he couldn't. That was so God. And how you have these marquee, talented players on the field scoring and beating the odds and all of this epic stuff. The young man who missed the tackle or whatever the case may be, that boy was balling the whole game. So that's what I'm saying. This was not about talent or ability or not being capable to get the job done. That's absolutely not what this was about. This is about a God move. But you have to be open to the God move and how God is going to do it for you. Because when he does it, nobody can stop it. And I need you to get the visual in your head today. Imagine yourself being wide open to receive the big catch that will look like a miracle that is designed specifically, not look like, but will be a miracle specifically for you. This is going to be for you. I believe there have been so many people waiting for God to do something big. They've been getting that word since last year. Some people have been getting that same word for the last 10 years. I know I have. I'm going to tell you the truth. I've been getting the same word for the longest time. But I am not God's clock. God is time. I can't even dispute when he's going to release that thing to me. But you know what I know? I know that he does not lie. And if you can do something like that so big and so huge, and then you did it on the international stage, because people in other countries saw that game, okay, you can see that on that scale. Guess what you know about him? You know that he can do anything. You know that he is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. And in addition to that, he made that thing so fire. He made it to where he's like, no, look, let me show y'all. Just so you don't waste your time dragging for people saying they're not a good player, that this team is this team. To me personally, when I saw that, right then I knew it wasn't about the Saints or the Vikings. It was about God being God. That game could have went any other way, but that's the way God allowed it to go. We don't deal with a God who makes mistakes. And although it may be painful for the losing team and it may be rejoicing for the winning team, I believe it's about God getting the glory. It's not about what each team feels. It's about God getting the glory. And because of that kind of move, even people of the world had to coin it the Minneapolis Miracle. How about that? There might be people that's not even believers that's calling it the Minneapolis Miracle. It might be atheists literally saying the word miracle, because that's who God is. And that's what I don't want you to miss. If he can do it the other day, he can do it for you. And that's why I believe today was a day of releasing this word. Because you have to understand something. You might look like you're on an island by yourself. You might be sitting on the sideline right now looking at your own dream and your own story, feeling like God played you and ain't nothing going to come to pass. But oh boy, do I have news for you. God is going to really knock your socks off. And the only way he's going to do that is if you believe it. I ended up listening to a little video that Stefan did, and it was amazing. He was giving all glory to God. I had no idea who the young man was. So you know, it really gave me confirmation that when I saw this the other day, that God was giving me the clearance to say this word. He was actually on one accord with God throughout this entire process. And believe it or not, he gave God all the credit for what happened. He didn't even take the credit for it. So he mentioned something about how he said, man, I've been working all season. Like, I've really been working hard all season. Yo, I know you've been working hard all season. And guess what? All them games passed throughout the season, and he didn't make no big plays like that. Like, he didn't make that play. He might have made big plays. I don't watch the Vikings, so I don't know. I didn't look up his stats, so I don't know. But you know what I do know? He didn't do the Minneapolis Miracle no other time that season. I know that. And I believe that the Lord set him aside for such a time as this, so that God could be glorified. And what was so beautiful was when the microphone was given to this young man, he redirected it to the Most High, who gave him the ability to achieve the Minneapolis Miracle. So these are your takeaways. Just like he was a wide receiver, now it's time for you to be a wide receiver of the blessings of God. Number 2, you might be sitting on the sideline. You might be looking at everybody else like, oh God, you know, we were winning at first. Now we hitting a slump. Okay, so I thought I was going to win. Now they're about to beat us. It's no more seconds. It's one more second on the clock. We're not going to be able to do it. Okay, if that is you, get ready, because the thing you've been waiting for, God is going to do, but he's going to do it in his own unconventional way. He's going to do it at the 11th hour. He may do it at the last second, but he's going to do it in a way where you're going to know only he is the one that's responsible for it. He will make it where no one else can get credit for it. He will make it where the only one that can get the glory will be him. Stick it out, tough it out. And let me help you out. I'm in the same position. So you're not by yourself. If you're waiting, I'm going to be transparent about that. I'm waiting too. I know he's going to do it. I don't know how, but I know he's going to do it because he just proved it to us with the Minneapolis miracle. So as I close out, remember this visual. When Stephon caught the ball and he turned around and ran it in for the touchdown, there was nobody around him. Everybody was behind him. So what I want you to know is this. Everything that tried to hold you back, it will be behind you. Yes, Lord. It will be behind you. So when it's time for you to make your big catch, when it's time for you to be the wide receiver, it will be all you, because it's all God blessing you. Take your L's. Go through the second and third quarter, or at least the third quarter, feeling like you lost. Go through the whole fourth quarter feeling like you're about to lose the game. Feel those feelings if you have to, but they're necessary in order for it to be a miracle. Because if not, it would have just been a regular game where the person won. Yay, they won. But you know why it was called a miracle? Because everything showed the opposite outcome. Everything. Nothing gave any inclination that that would happen. So that is why, if it is the exact opposite for you now, no, not only will it turn around to what you were hoping it to be, but it will be even better. Because a couple of blessings happened to this young man. Well, multiple blessings. But two that stand out, he now made NFL history. It was one of the biggest and greatest games in NFL history. And he will go down in history as the person that caught the ball for the Minneapolis miracle. Them same three things are going to happen for you. When you exalt God, he will exalt you. When you do it for his glory, he will show you his glory on earth, and people will see it oozing from your life. So please be encouraged. It's time for you to be the wide receiver, and it's time for you to make the big catch, because God is about to throw you your miracle, and you need to be in position to get it. I'm wired to inspire. I hope you are too.
Thanks for listening to I'm Wired to Inspire podcast at I'mWiredToInspire.com. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word and be sure to hit the 5-star rating on iTunes. For more information on this podcast and inspirational products and services, log on to the inspirationspecialist.life or I'mWiredToInspire.com. And remember to live your authentic purpose. Thanks again, and see you next time.